In May 2021, Blair Underwood and Desiree DaCosta announced in a joint statement that they were going their separate ways after 3 children and 27 years of marriage. Fans of the veteran actor were shocked because his marriage appeared to be one of the few solid relationships in Hollywood. So how did things go from this to Desiree filing for divorce? Let's find out. But before we get started, don't forget to scoop up a bag of turkey, bacon, or brisket beef jerky, cheddar bacon popcorn, and butter toffee peanuts from rrgsnacks.com, our online concession stand that has thousands of 5-star reviews. To get a better idea of Blair Underwood's views on relationships, we have to give you some insight into his family and upbringing. He was born in Tacoma, Washington, but his family moved around a lot due to his father's career as a colonel in the U.S. Army.
How did you handle the bonding and severing of being a military kid, moving from city to city?
You learn to just kind of get along with anybody and everybody. I've often said you often become a wallflower or you get engaged. My personality wouldn't let me be a wallflower.
Blair and his siblings were raised in a stable household, and he told Oprah Winfrey his parents were his heroes in love, and they taught him what a relationship should look like. While his dad was the breadwinner, his mom was responsible for keeping the house in order and taking care of Blair and his siblings. When his dad was away, Blair and his brother would step in and become the men of the house. They learned how to repair electronics, changed the oil in the car, and they would always make sure all the doors were locked at night. Taking on that role at such a young age stayed with him as he ventured into adulthood. He knew he wanted to be a protector and someone his woman could lean on. But first, he wanted to have some fun. After making his big screen debut in the 1985 film Crush Groove, Blair was cast in NBC's L.A. Law in 1987. Landing the role of Jonathan Rollins solidified his position as a Hollywood heartthrob. He told Style magazine that period of his life was phenomenal. He was in his early 20s, single, loving life, and enjoying the dating scene. As the years passed by, he grew tired of dating around and was ready for the next chapter of his life. He purchased a 3-bedroom home in the Hollywood Hills, and that same year, he met Desiree DaCosta, who had worked in the industry as Eddie Murphy's assistant. They began a whirlwind romance. They got engaged, and she moved into his Hollywood Hills home. From the very beginning, Blair channeled what he learned during his upbringing, and he knew he wanted to be Desiree's rock. He told Oprah, "If she had a problem, I wanted to solve it. I thought that's what was expected of me." After a night out, they were driving back home when Desiree began talking about a personal issue that was bothering her. As she vented, Blair chimed in with a series of different solutions. That's when she turned to him, put her hand on his arm, looked him in the eye, and said, "Baby, I don't need you to fix it. I just need you to listen to me." Her words made him realize that trying to come up with ways to solve her problems gave him a false sense of control. He added that every time he offered up unsolicited advice, he was being disrespectful to the strong woman that she was. Letting go of the need to fix everything brought a feeling of relief. Without having to step up and repair everything going on in her life, he was allowed to just be a shoulder to cry on. He always thought it was his parents who taught him how to be a man, but it was actually Desiree who gave him the tools that allowed him to be the right man for her. From that point on, his relationship with Desiree, his mother, his sister, and his female friends blossomed. The women in his life became more honest with him, and he was able to deepen those relationships like never before. In September 1994, he and Desiree became husband and wife, and there was no doubt that Desiree was his perfect match. He told Good Housekeeping that they fit together perfectly because they had the same temperaments. He added, "She's very smart, very low-key, very passionate, and unbelievably sexy. And I trust her completely." Thankfully, Desiree was also okay with him putting his career first. As she supported his dreams, she put her focus on being a homemaker and raising their children, Paris, Brielle, and Blake. As a family, they enjoyed traveling and making their own home movies. On one occasion, their children wrote a script, learned their lines, and made their own costumes. Then the family took their video camera to Kenya and filmed the movie. Blair and Desiree were the directors, and afterward, Blair edited the footage so they could all enjoy the movie and watch it as a family. Despite all the accolades he's received as an entertainer, Blair told the Las Vegas Black Image website that family is the most important thing to him. And even with a jam-packed schedule, he always made time to be present in their lives, especially as it pertained to their daughter. Although his daughter was able to look toward her grandparents and her parents to see positive examples of love, Blair wanted to make sure he played an active role in her life as well. His wish was that before his daughter found her own partner, she learned to love herself first. After his mother was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, Blair watched as his parents' dynamics changed. His father, who was once a strict military man, became patient and nurturing as he cooked and helped out with the daily chores. Seeing his father adapt taught Blair the importance of being flexible in a relationship and crossing over into those stereotypical gender roles when needed. Sadly, his mother lost her battle with multiple sclerosis in October 2020 at the age of 84. Due to the pandemic, Blair was unable to be with her, but thankfully his siblings called him on FaceTime so he could have the opportunity to speak with her before she made her transition, with her loving husband of 60 years by her side. 4 months later, the day after Valentine's Day 2021 to be exact, Blair and Desiree quietly separated according to court documents obtained by RRG. 3 months later, Blair posted a joint statement on his Instagram to announce they would be ending their marriage. A portion of their statement reads that they'll continue to be the best of friends and co-parents. A month later, in June 2021, Desiree officially filed for divorce after 27 years of marriage, citing irreconcilable differences. Unlike other messy breakups that we featured on RRG, Blair and Desiree kept things amicable and respectful. Instead of hiring separate lawyers, they hired a neutral mediator and were able to come to a private settlement agreement without any public mudslinging. As of this video, their divorce is officially finalized, and they're both back on the market. It's unclear what Desiree will do now that she's single and her children are grown. As for Blair, he was excited to announce he would reprise his role as Jonathan Rollins in the L.A. Law reboot. But unfortunately, ABC decided not to pick up the revival, and production was shut down. Blair has been keeping a low profile and hasn't made an update on his Instagram since March 2022. As private as Blair and Desiree were during their marriage, we anticipate they'll be just as quiet and low-key as they navigate through this new period of their lives. We wish them and their family nothing but the best. If you enjoyed this video, let us know down below, and thanks for watching RRG.